Now, for many years, what did we think? We thought, well, that number would go down and down and down and down. Now, I don't know about you, but me, when that report came out, just how many partakers? And what were we thinking?
In the first episode of this video, I asked a hard question. Can truth keep on changing and still remain the same? I talked about how the truth of the Jehovah's Witnesses has changed over 100 times since this religious movement started in the late 1800s. In the last 20 to 30 years alone, the truth has changed 20 to 30 times. We are talking about one major change per year or per 1.5 years. And yet the members of the Jehovah's Witnesses still pride themselves in having the truth, and that other church denominations do not have the truth. They belong to the system of this world. They belong to Babylon the Great. And that when Armageddon strikes, they will be totally destroyed. I addressed two major changes: how the doctrine of the generation of the 1914 has changed over time, and also who speaks for Jehovah. Is it all the anointed Christians? Now, in this video, I'm addressing two other major changes. Let's move on to another major truth change: the resurrection confusion. Who gets the second chance? For years, Jehovah's Witnesses preached that or taught that those who died in Noah's flood, in Sodom and Gomorrah, had perished forever. No second chance at paradise. They were gone and gone forever. They had been judged by Jehovah. No second chance. But in 2006, the script flipped. The governing body suggested that maybe some of those would be resurrected. And David Explained says, who are we to say they will not resurrect? And they said, only Jehovah knows the hearts of people. Let's listen to this clip by David Explained.
Have you ever asked a similar question? Maybe when you were just coming into the truth? Have you ever asked, for example, will none of those who died in the flood get a resurrection? Even those who may never have heard of Noah? And what about Sodom and Gomorrah? Will everyone who died in Sodom and Gomorrah sleep an everlasting sleep? The women, the children, babies. And was there not one redeemable Assyrian soldier in that band of 185,000 who died at the hand of Jehovah's angel? We don't have the answer to those questions. But we do know one thing: the merciful judge of all the earth will do what is right. Wait a minute. Did I hear that right? We don't have the answer to those questions? I thought we did. In the past, our publications have stated that there's no hope of a resurrection for those who died in the flood or those destroyed in Sodom and Gomorrah. But do we really know that? The men of Sodom and Gomorrah were certainly wicked, and they deserved to die for what they did. But did they know any better? How often did Lot and his family preach to them? And are we saying that if special pioneers had been assigned to Sodom, that they would have had no success whatsoever in preaching to the Sodomites, helping them to turn around and come to a knowledge of Jehovah? Can we say dogmatically that not one Sodomite would have repented if Jehovah's requirements have been explained? Now, Noah's contemporaries certainly were wicked. The Bible says that man's wickedness was great on the earth, and every inclination of the thoughts of his heart was only bad all the time. So those living at that time were sinners. But did they all get a thorough witness? Noah and his family must have been very busy building the ark. How much time did they have for preaching? And were they able to do seldom worked territory? We have found that people who live within 10 miles of Bethel have never heard of Jehovah's Witnesses. So can we guarantee that everyone living on earth during that time knew of Noah and what he was doing? We can't really say that. And can we say that if someone had been given an adequate opportunity, he still would have turned his back on Jehovah? We just can't say that.
You see the way they present it. They themselves make a decision. They themselves make a judgment, make a determination. They are the faithful and discreet slave. They only hear from Jesus, gets instructions from Jesus. But when what they have said goes wrong, something that was exclusive becomes inclusive. We used to believe. We suggested that. We used to do this.
Let's be quite frank. Over the last few years, we've had a few changes with regard to the events that occurred during the Great Tribulation. And if you've been in the truth for a while, sometimes it's a bit hard to remember, was that what we used to believe, or is this what we believe now? Now, for many years, what did we think? We thought, well, that number would go down and down and down and down. Now, I don't know about you, but me, when that report came out, just how many partakers? And what were we thinking?
If you have so far driven benefit from this video, kindly like, subscribe, and smash the notice bell so that every time I upload a new video, you receive a notification. But they are the only ones claimed to be anointed enough to be able to dispense spiritual food. They said only Jehovah knows the hearts of men. The question is, why the change? It was difficult to explain how a loving God wouldn't give a chance to everyone else. Instead of standing on their original teaching, they left the door open. When you keep changing rules about who dies and who lives, it makes people wonder, do these people really know what they are talking about? Now, let's ask the final question. Is this the beginning of the end? Jehovah's Witnesses are taught that they alone have the truth. The question is, how can the truth keep changing? Another question is, how many times can prophets fail before people start asking hard questions? For some, these changes are just new light.
But have you ever wondered, though, how exactly does Jehovah reveal clarified understanding of the Scriptures, new light, in modern times? When the governing body is meeting together as the faithful and discreet slave, how does it work? How exactly does the light get brighter? How does Jehovah use that arrangement to clarify our understanding?
But for others, this is a wake-up call, a realization that maybe, just maybe, the truth doesn't change, only the story changes. So the question is this just another shift, or it's a clear sign of collapse? Now, it's important to remember that the truth doesn't fear questions, only lies do. Lies cannot survive in light. Remember that Jehovah's Witnesses have prided themselves, they've grown over rumor mongering, over prophets of doom. They are prophets of doom that have prophesied the end of the world. They said Christ would come in 1914. It didn't happen. They said in 1925, the patriarchs will resurrect. It didn't happen. They changed. The generation that was alive in 1914 would never die. They all died. During the Second World War, they said the war will not end before Armageddon comes. The war ended. It's now 8 years since the end of the Second World War, and Armageddon is still not yet in sight. Then came the infamous 1975, when they shouted on the rooftops that 1975, the end of the world would begin, and people started selling properties, stopped going for work. 1975 came and went. Nothing happened. Now what happened? They have now changed, trying to tone down that teaching to say we should not be preoccupied with the end. Now be the person that Jehovah wants you to be. Let's watch this clip from one of the GW dramas.
Did you get a chance to read the links I sent you?
Of course I read it.
And?
It's exciting to think we could be so close.
And when you watch the news, you realize it could be any day now.
What's all the excitement?
The cry of peace and security.
Thanks again for sharing.
See you.
Tulani, remember Jesus said, no one knows the day or hour.
But he said we should keep on the watch.
I think it's great you keeping the end close in mind.
Because of you and Linda. Both of you have shown me how close we really are.
I have to take this quickly, but I'll see you on Friday. I saw what was happening in the world, and you both helped me put it all together.
We just want to be sure you are focused on the right things.
We can all start thinking too much about when the end will come.
But I'm just being alert. Isn't that what you taught me to do?
Alert is good.
And if the end is really so far off, why did I need to change my life now?
You are asking the right questions. There was a moment in our lives when we focused too much on the when rather than the why we were serving Jehovah. It affected our zeal, our happiness, our perspective. And we'd never want that for you.
This is the answer.
Since all these things are to be dissolved in this way, consider what sort of people you ought to be in holy acts of conduct and deeds of godly devotion.
We don't know when the end will come. Could be tomorrow. Could take a little longer. But what matters is the kind of person we are when it comes. So focus on your love for Jehovah, His organization, His work. Take the excitement you have and direct it the right way.
Now, if this video has made you think, share it. Also consider to like, subscribe, and smash the notice bell so that every time I upload a new video, you will receive a notification. If you have any questions, you are seeking clarifications, or you just want to make a contribution to this topic, please do so in the comments below. If you have any other area that you want to contribute about the changes by the governing body, you can also do so in the comment section below. If you believe that the message in this video will benefit another person, kindly share it with them. You can share with as many people as you want. If you did not watch part 1 of this video, click on this link.